Hi, family. It's me, Dale. You all know me. And I guess you know by now, if you're watching this, I'm already dead, or else I've disappeared somewhere and am considered dead. How's that?
That's fine. You don't have to give them options. They
right.
know you're gone.
Right, but I think my son is just going through a phase. I have no idea where he would have gotten a hold of German pornography. But you and I are mature adults. We've both seen our share of pornographic materials. Oh, you never have? Of course you haven't. How stupid of me. Neither have I. I was just speaking in generalities. Right, I'll stop by the school a little later, Sister Margaret. Bye.
This is the moment we've all been waiting for. Let Oktoberfest begin! I don't know, this damn town, you can't get anything going here. Shit!
As you probably heard from your old man, he and I had some pretty wild times back in med school.
Really?
Oh yeah, we started our own basketball team, the Hemoglobin Trotters. Hemoglobin Trotters, get it? A play on the name of the famous colored Negro basketball squad. Black, African American. You know, people of colors.
Lawyers are expensive, you say? Not when you come to two guys who are lawyers, the discount law firm.
Tell him, Jerry.
Sure, Art. Now that attorneys can advertise, we ask you to shop around, and you'll agree that we two guys undersell all of our competitors and give you the best legal services for your money.
The doctor should know the difference between dysentery and basic diarrhea.
As we come to the close of another broadcast day, I find myself depressed as hell.
Tonight on Parent News, how to do a Netflix. Hey, what happened? As you know, back in 1970, I starred on a series called What Happened? And every time something would go wrong, I would look at the camera and say, hey, what happened? And join us tomorrow when we discuss dubstep. Is it a dance or is it drugs? Good night. I don't think I ever could get used to being probed and prodded. I told my proctologist once, hey, why don't you take me out to dinner and a movie sometime, you know?
Yes. I remember you said that last year. Yes.
Yeah. Put him in the cell with a long hose on him, put him in the cell with a long hose on him. And I used to say, if he's got a long enough hose, he's going to have a lot of friends in the shower room. Folk audiences hated that joke. Let me ask you something. This may seem like a silly question. Did you get a French dog, a Chinese dog, a German dog? Do they all bark the same? They all sound the same when they, woof, is it, or is it different language?
Different dogs have different intonations.
And it doesn't matter,
tones.
the country, the boundaries doesn't make any difference there.
No.
Anyway, that's what I'm trying here, a video will. I thought that'd be kind of a hoot. You know, we all live over a trap door. You never know who's going to be next, am I right?
You should have written something down.
You don't want to overthink these things. Just figure out right on the spot who gets what. I thought that would be fun.
Why is it supposed to be fun?
I don't know why they have to give people 10-year contracts either.
This is Jerry Jarvis. I'm the assistant controller.
Assistant? Get me your boss.
He's out to lunch, but I'm sure I can handle any problem you might have.
It's not my problem. You've got a dead engineer and a runaway train that's going to hit Chicago in 15 minutes. Now, what are you going to do about it?
All right, I'll check with the signal towers. But, you see, it's impossible. If the engineer is dead, who's driving the train?
Whoops! Darling, look at the time. We better get a move on. Sorry for the whole full-scale invasion thing. But, hey, I'm a dad. You know how it is with your kids. When they need you, you do whatever it takes. Operation Cleanup has, failed. Wouldn't you know, rising toxicity levels have made life unsustainable on Earth.
Unsustainable? What?
Darn it all, we're going to have to cancel Operation Recolonize. So, just stay the course.
Mr. President.
I think... Huh?
Time to go.
And why don't you have any clothes on, Nick?
Solidarity. Thanks for getting us, Mr. Ferguson.
Now, I am gonna go on, and if you want to try and stop me, bring it on. Because I am good at 3 things: fighting, screwing, and reading the news. Now, I've already done one of those today, so what's the other one gonna be, huh?
Screwing? It doesn't have to be some dreary affair here. Depending on how I passed away, Maybe we should make a less fun version of this in case I have some tragic death which involves a closed casket or something. Or lost at sea. You hear about the guy who put away money every year for his cemetery plot, then he was lost at sea?
I don't think so.
Are we done?
Mr. Bluestein, Montezuma's revenge is nothing more than good old-fashioned American diarrhea. Adult diapers should never even enter the picture. So you lose a few pounds. My mom used to say that Blaine is a little town with a big heart in the heart of a big country. And to me, Blaine is a kind of town where I can have my own business, meet and marry a wonderful woman like Sheila, and be something, be somebody. Hoekstraat, you are Spinal Tap?
I'm Janine Pettiford, and this is Spinal Tap.
Spinal Tap, my mistake. I'm Lieutenant Bob Hoekstraat. Welcome to Lindbergh Air Force Base. Is this your gentleman's first visit to a military facility? Yes. Fine. May I start by saying how thrilled we are to have you here. We are such fans of your music and all of your records. That's right. I'm not speaking of yours personally, but the whole genre of the rock and roll and so many of the exciting things that are happening in music today. And let me explain a bit about what's going on. This is our monthly At Ease weekend. It gives us a chance to kind of let down our hair, although I see you all have a head start on it. These haircuts wouldn't pass military muster, believe me. Although I shouldn't talk, my hair's getting a little shaggy too. Better not get too close to you, they'll think I'm part of the band. I'm joking, of course. Shall we go in and I'll show you around? I had what, most guys would dream of, and I had to have a penis reduction surgery. I'm sorry? Penis reduction. Which there aren't many. You're going to say I never heard of that because there haven't been many cases.
I said, Ron, do something. And he said, why don't you get one of those vagina enlargements?
Oh, dear. Can we have some coffee over here?
Have you tried the egg rolls?
They're
unbelievable.
Good to me.
Let me ask you something. You're a medical man.
Yes.
I want to ask you something. If you
Oh!
No,
Oh, for heaven's sake, no,
please. I just
want...
I would like to get the playing on about 1,900 hours, if that's satisfactory.
Where would
I make it now, it's about 1,830 hours.
So that's what, 50 hours?
Well,
120 hours?
That's actually about 30 minutes. About a half hour, give or take, just a few minutes. I don't want to rush you. The idea is if we can get it on and we get it over with. And I have just one request. Would you play a couple of slow numbers so I can dance? Let's start with my wife, Elaine, your Aunt Elaine, who loved you very much. I guess she gets the bulk of my estate. I guess I'll give her, what the heck, 75%. Can I do that, 75% to Elaine?
You can do whatever.
What the heck is an estate? What's the definition of an estate?
Well, that's your assets, your property, inheritance.
All right.
It's everything, really.
Everything? That sounds like a lot. So if I give her 75%, what's left?
25%.
I was thinking more kind of sharing the wealth.
I have respected his work. I have thought of him as a great thespian, while most people have thought of him as a very diverse comedian and actor. I've actually enjoyed some of his more serious work and consider him to be one of the more talented, if not serious, thespians. Please welcome Mr. Fred Willard.
Kevin, I'm so glad you mentioned the T-shirt because I really need a T-shirt. If you could take my card, I might be able to show you, that's just a temporary card, I may be able to show you how you're paying much too much for your premiums.
What is this thing
Not
here?
now, but no, this is just...
So you're selling insurance as well?
I just say no more. We'll talk later. I don't want to take up this. Also, I am representing the publishers of the Living Bible who are putting out this. It brings the New Testament to life in contemporary terms, contemporary words and pictures in a leather-type binding. And
That is leather?
Leather-type
binding.
In gold type. We're being monitored legally here.
Yeah.
It's a wonderful gift. Would you be interested
well,
in
it's
something?
a handsome edition, but you know, I have several Bibles at home.
Nothing. Okay.
Thank you anyway.
Then how about some hardcore pornography? I'm not actually a doctor. That's just my first name. My parents named me after the man who delivered me. But what the heck? I'm home all the time. I'm healthy. I have a white jacket. So when folks in the neighborhood started losing their jobs, they just started to come around and ask my medical advice.
Make mealtime a family time. Turn the TV off.
Turn it off. You don't need it.
I mean, so many people think if they miss 30 minutes of TV, the world's going to end.
The world's going to continue. There's no problem. Wait a year and you'll see the reruns.
When Fred's doing his scene, people are standing around
everyone
watching.
Everyone is watching Fred work, without exception. Everyone.
When did you meet Fred Willard?
Over 30 years ago, Fred and I were in a play at the Circle in the Square Theater called Little Murders. And it was the first play I ever did. It was a Jules Feiffer play that Alan Arkin directed. I knew something was off when Fred actually started doing lines that weren't in the play to me.
But they're so busy watching the TV.
They don't even concentrate. It's the TV. They don't even know what's on.
Or in some cases, they don't even see what they're eating.
No, they could be eating anything.
That's right.
So get rid of the distractions.
That's right. Put the doggy out.
Take the dog out. You don't need the animal in the house.
Take that phone off the hook.
The phone off the hook. If you miss a call, so what?
No interruptions means a great meal.
Of course, get rid of the bad interruptions. Can you think of anything more annoying than unnecessary interruptions?
Thank you so much for joining us, Fred. That's Mr. Fred Trump, everybody.
Wait.
Yes.
Jimmy, I'm actually thinking of changing my last name.
What?
Don't love the association anymore. How does Fred Cosby sound?
It sounds great.
You've never lost anything or anyone you love, do you, except that rabbit?
Well, that was an accident.
Oh, they told you it was an accident? All right, it was. And it proved one thing, that rabbits cannot hold their alcohol. Stop by the clinic anytime.
Excuse me, you have a clinic?
Not just a clinic, the clinic. We do the finest diagnostic checkups in town. Doc Williams at your service.
I would love to talk to you about this problem I'm having.
That's what I'm here for. What seems to be the problem?
Well, no matter what I do, I just can't get going in the morning.
That could be your valves.
Really?
Have you had your pump checked lately? This is bad, Ron. Real bad. My hands are tied. I gotta fire you.
Ed, let's hold on. Let's count to 10, all right? That's a rash decision. Okay? Is this about something else?
Ed, there's 300 very angry San Diegoites.
San Diegoans. San Diegoans.
San Diegans.
San Diegans. You should probably have a major overhaul. Check everything inside now. Do you leak much? Because you can't smile in a man's face 1 minute, and as soon as he turns his back on you, take a knife and plunge. Line, please. I'm sorry, I don't think it's fun. Can I see a script for a second? Does your rear end make noise?
That's a bit personal, isn't it?
I'll tell you what, I am up to here in my work, but what I will do, I'll lube it up. I'll get inside there and root around and find out what the problem is. I have the best tool in town. Trust me, I'll do a thorough job. A toast! I would like to say that I would rather be with the people of this town than with the finest people in the world. And we'll throw in the car. She loved that car. That should make her day once she gets over her grieving for me.
So just the car? Then?
Just the car? How are we doing? Are we almost at the end?
You've just done one 98 Ford Taurus right now. Uncle Dale, at this rate, this is going to take a really long time.
This is harder than I thought. You know, I should have planned something. But what can I do? I want to talk this out. That's me. I like to talk things out loud, get the creative juices flowing. I'm a creative juice guy.
Do you know this man? Well, you're going to know him starting this fall on SCTV. I'm Fred Winston. I'll be starring in The Fred Winston Show with guests like Joan Baez. Hold it. Hold it. Fun with the studio audience. One more time.
One died with you is what I am now praying for.
On The Fred Winston Show, Monday through Friday from 8 p.m. to 11. That's The Fred Winston Show, coming this fall on SCTV.
Oh,
Did
great.
you lose my card?
No, I've got it right here. It's Fred Willard, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for being here.
You should have written something down and planned it out. That's the best option here, sort of, being buried with all your possessions.
Oh, is that an option?